Former Socceroo Steve Horvat, a member of A-League aspirants West Melbourne Group's bid team, has talked up the strength of the proposed Wyndham-based side in the wake of their advancement to the next round of the A-League expansion process. West Melbourne was named as one of the 10 bids to have progressed onto Football Federation Australia's FFA shortlist of potential expansion candidates on Friday, joining other Melbourne-based bids Team 11 and South Melbourne in the next phase of the process. West Melbourne Group unveiled their plans for an expansion side playing out of a 15,000-seat stadium as part of a fully privately funded larger footballing precinct in Melbourne's West End at the 1st of June press conference. Horvat says that the response in the wake of the announcement has been, for the most part, positive in its nature. The feedback has been excellent from stakeholders, saying that our proposal has been impressive, Horvat told dailyfootballshow.com. I think the most encouraging thing is the amount of feedback we've been receiving from the public, through our social media and privately, of people wanting to get involved and wanting to be part of what a lot of people see as a game changer, a real football-focused precinct where we will be the key tenants and owner of the premises. We will have complete control of everything we want to do in a football sense, which gives us a lot of strength, a lot of power to produce the players of tomorrow, both the women's and the men's game. I think that really excites us. Nearly everyone involved in our team has a long connection with the game, from the junior participation to being administrators to being a former Socceroo or what have you, and I think that's the single most important thing to all of us, that our game will no longer play a subservient role to any other tenant of the facility, that we will dictate what will be used and when. I think there's a real opportunity. I remember being a young boy and traveling 2 hours every Saturday morning to stay training on the eastern side of Melbourne, because that's where everything was structured and set up for Victorian state teams, so I can sympathise with the lack of facilities that have been in the west of Melbourne and Victoria over the last 50 years. This is why this project is a real game changer, because without some private investment probably the west area of Melbourne and Victoria would miss out again on being able to provide a facility, and there are facilities around the region of an elite caliber that hasn't been seen anywhere in Victoria specific to our game. Related, DFS. The 18th of June 27. That's all, folks. While the West Melbourne bid has drawn public praise from numerous influencers within Australia, there has also been a vocal reaction to proposed shortcomings of the bid, particularly surrounding the population base of West Melbourne's proposed catchment and its lack of connections to the traditional football sides of the West. Horvat, for his part, downplayed those concerns. The growth of the corridor that we are talking about is staggering, he said. I think they estimate that our little pocket there will be bigger than Canberra in the next 15 to 20 years. The population growth is enormous. I think you just need to look at the success of the Wanderers, and I know that too many of these so-bidders have been quoted saying that we will be the Wanderers of our region, but what I do take out of the Wanderers' success is that they embedded themselves in the heartland of the game with some of the most traditional footballing clubs in this country and were able to be a great success. That's because they brought the community with them, and that's something we will look to do. We'd be doing it already if we knew we were in line to be in the competition, but we plan to go out and engage with the community, which is what you need to do. There's no doubt that there's an incredible amount of talent that has come from that region over the course of the game over a number of years. I truly believe that the existing clubs do play an incredible role and have played an incredible role in developing these players, and we will hope to be able to create our own history moving forward as well. The problem is not getting a team on the park, the problem is with such a short timeline is making sure that we have people in the stands come the first game we play, and that's the most important thing. West Melbourne Group on June 12 also announced a willingness to construct facilities that would enable the Matildas to be based out of Melbourne's West, telling the women's game that discussions on the proposal had been in the pipeline for several months. While the current expansion process as set out by the FFA does not require the expansion sides to outline plans for a side to be entered into the W League, recently indicating that expansion of the W League was not one the governing body's priorities, Horvat reiterated that West Melbourne Group still had plans for the inclusion of women's sides in the entity. Related, we also aim to secure a direct voice for NPL clubs. AAFC declares intentions as reform process kicks into gear. The beauty about it is if the game grows, we've got the flexibility to house a W League team in our main stadium, he added. I'm hoping that the W League gets to a point where we can play the W League in our main stadium and, again, there lies the beauty of our project. We don't need any approval from anywhere for our W League team to be playing in the main stadium. We're not at the beck and call of other codes or activities. We've publicly come out and said that we would love a W League team and we would love to house the Matildas in our football precincts because there'll be so many additional things there that sports teams need, like an aquatic center, pools, recovery, sports science and medical facilities that all ties into hosting a team like the Matildas. Obviously, we get asked those W League and Matildas questions daily. We never get asked about the women's NPL and those sorts of questions, but the flexibility we've got with all the fields and the 2 stadiums is that we can easily accommodate all levels of football, right down to juniors. That was our goal from day one, and luckily, we've been able to find the private investment, so we don't have to reach out to government to build us a stadium. It's exciting. It's such an exciting process. Header image, Western Melbourne Group Twitter.